Back in the days before fruit phones and robot phones, I worked in IT at a local council. There were 12 members of our team, 7 of whom drank hot drinks during the day, tea, coffee. We had a kettle and a small fridge that we had each paid for in the corner of the office, and took it in turns to make tea and coffee for all in the team. The system worked perfectly, until Health and Safety came and said we can't have electrical appliances in the office as they need to be tested. We got them tested and they passed. Health and Safety came back and said that the kettle was too dangerous, it was tall and thin and could tip over. We replaced it with a wide-bottomed kettle that wasn't as easy to tip over. Health and Safety came back and said that having a hot water source that close to staff could burn them. Kettle had to be removed within a week. Our reply was that there were no burns since we had the kettle, and the nearest kitchen with hot water was 2 floors up on the other side of the building, and that it used the water boiler. It would take extra time to make drinks and then have to carry them down the stairs where accidents could easily happen. Health and Safety said that it was their way or not at all. We relented, and the kettle disappeared. My boss said that it was only a matter of time until someone trips or slips on the stairs carrying a tray of hot drinks. Day 3 after the kettle went, new girl slipped on the stairs and caused damage to a light when her tea soaked it. H&S needed to fill out the 7-page report and the light had to be replaced at a cost of £150. Day 9 one of the team called Victor, not real name, slipped on wet stairs and his hot tea caused burns to the person coming up. Other person off work for 2 weeks and H&S needed to fill in a different, 12-page, report. Day 22 I slipped on wet stairs with a tray of drinks. Second-degree burns to my chest and arms. Off for 2 weeks on full pay. Another 12-page report. Day 23 kettle is returned. I worked at a pretty popular department store for years, and I have to say that the customers this store breeds are the worst of the worst. This store is probably 90% of the reason that so many customers feel as entitled as they do. The cashier had the hiccups. It was incredibly annoying. Isn't there anything you can do for me? Was an actual honest-to-God complaint one lady had for me when I was a supervisor. So anyway, I was covering a break-up at the registers. I was a supervisor at the time and I had also already given my 2 weeks notice. I was beyond fed up. It was like spring of my senior year all over again. I had no more fucks left. So I'm up at the registers, and this lady who couldn't have been more than 40 comes up with a huge cart full. Anyone who has worked retail, you know this woman. She's got the hair. She's smacking her gum at me while she talks on the phone. The entire transaction is delayed because I need her to pay and she starts to ignore me because apparently I'm the rude one for interrupting her phone call. She proceeds to tell the person on the other end, "Give me a second," and finally turns to me and says, as if I'm an impatient child testing her last bit of patience, "Yes? Here's your total, ma'am. Do you have any coupons or rewards to use today?" She nodded, and here is when she drops a few clippings on the counter in front of me, ignoring my outstretched hand, and turns her attention back to her phone. As soon as I look at the coupons, I see that none of them are usable. She has one that is $10 off your menswear purchase of $50 or more. She has all women's clothing. The next coupon expired 2 months ago. Another one doesn't start for another week, etc. etc. So I try again to get her attention. She's just as lovely and accommodating as the last time. She rolls her eyes, tells the person on the phone that she will have to call them back, and gives me another sharp yes. "Sorry ma'am, this coupon is expired, this one hasn't started, and this one is only for when you purchase $50 worth of menswear. Do you have any other coupons or rewards?" She stares at me like I had just called her mother some unsavory name. Excuse me, what? What could I do but shrug helplessly? You have got to be kidding me. That is the entire reason I came out here today, to use those coupons. I really can't use them? Unbelievable. Some customer service here. All the while she's packing her useless coupons back into her purse and glaring scorch marks into my soul. Remember I said I was done? My patience before Shopzilla here was already at zero. She tipped the scales. I was officially in the negatives. I had negative bucks and negative patience left. So when she said you should be ashamed of yourself, being so rude to a customer, something in me snapped. I smiled sweetly at her, mustered up a bright and cheery expression that I usually reserve as my waitress face, and said I'm so sorry you feel that way, ma'am. But on the bright side, since it's Tuesday I can still apply your senior's discount. So at least you aren't losing that one, right? I can't quite describe her expression. I think she was angry, but I think she was more shocked. And in that state of shock, she sputtered out I'm not a senior. I mimicked her shock, trying to appear horrified by my accidental faux pas, and then immediately said let me take that off of there for you, then. And promptly took the senior discount off, bumping her total up another $20. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding, ma'am. Oh boy, she was pissed, but like I said, I think she was more shocked. She seemed a little dumbfounded. She paid, she took her stuff, she left. I will take that petty moment of satisfaction at her horrified expression to my grave. It was even worth the write-up that I did end up getting after she called the store and gave my manager a piece of her mind.